In this video, I've brought the Rover home, and isn't that slightly broken barrier just symptomatic of all that has gone wrong here at Longbridge in Birmingham? Oh well, on with the trip. So yeah, this is where this car was built 18 years ago, and this was a fully fledged factory run by Rover, which by then was Phoenix, I think. I think they'd taken over, and yeah, it's all gone a bit wrong now. It's just somewhere where they sell MGs made in China. There really isn't an awful lot that happens here anymore, and that is very sad. But I need to get to London, and yeah, I'm just looking. There's quite a few Rovers in the car park there, and I better shut up and go and do that. So more later. And now, just a few miles from where this car was born, it has hit 107,000 miles. So I guess we can consider that the long way around. Still, we must get from Longbridge near Birmingham to London for yet more travels in a Rover. Oh, here we are, driving around London. Feeling like a complete numpty because I haven't got a clue what lane I'm meant to be in. We're still about 12 or 13 miles from the centre of London, and that's equivalent of my house to the nearest town. So yeah, it's all a bit different. It's slow going from here. To be honest, I don't generally drive in London because it is this horrible. I would prefer to be on the train, but so far I reckon I've used about £40 worth of fuel to travel 245 miles, which has included going to see a friend of mine in Birmingham. I tried to think what it would have cost on the train, and it would have taken hours and hours and hours. So suffer I must. Well, it's day 2, and we're currently driving very, very slowly. My Waze sat-nav app reckons it's going to take us 50 minutes to cover 12 miles. Back in Wales, I can cover 12 miles in 20 minutes, and that includes the time it takes to get from my sitting room to the car. Sigh, sigh, many sighs. Oh look, I've been stopped by the police. They're doing random insurance checks. This all feels very familiar. At least these ones don't seem to have guns. So I'm already running late because the North Circular is closed, or certainly got 2 lanes closed. So yeah, this morning is not going well. It's just a ridiculous city to try and get around in a car, which is why I generally don't bother. Ugh. This isn't going all that well. Waze has completely got the address wrong, so I've ended up coming all the way into Kensington, and that's not a great place to be. I mean, it's a very nice part of the world, and I was here earlier in the year with Mrs. HubNut, and we went to the Natural History Museum, which is a quite stupendous place. But yeah, I'm now 7 miles away from where I should be, and it's going to take best part of 40 minutes to get back to where I should be. Note to self, just don't do London, no. So one of the cars we're looking at on this trip is this 1974, I think, 304 Datsun Cedric Coupe 260C. It's a South African one, which I think means it was built in South Africa. Which may explain why the panel gaps are, well, they're not quite as good as you might expect from a Japanese car. The colour is original, the vinyl roof is original, the wheel trims are original and unique to the South African ones. I mean, the vinyl roof is just remarkable. You'll see we've got pillarless windows going on, and the most 70s of interiors, and this is a photo shoot we're doing for Retro Japanese magazine. So once we get that featured, we'll be able to tell you an awful lot more about it. Look, the stereo even has a turno lock button. No idea what that is. I'm just doing some static photo shoot on it, and then I'll take it for a bit of a drive. Full auto Nesmatic. Oh, stumbling a bit because it hasn't been run for ages, and it's on quite old fuel. Clearing itself out slowly as the modern fuel gets in there. There you go, quite remarkable. But it's interesting to note it must have had a rear window at some point, because that one's got a different number plate on it. This is what we used to do in the old days. We used to etch our windows, so if someone stole your car and broke it for spares, you would be able to find the parts. But yeah, a rather lovely car. I'm afraid I haven't got the gimbal with me because this is primarily a photo shoot and not really a working trip. But I might see if we can do something to neaten up the seat belts, because they're spoiling the lines of this pillarless style somewhat. That is a hilarious aerial. That's mightily erect. Today's photo shoot is on a very special car. It's the oldest XJ in existence. One of 20 pre-production cars, 19th built, and yeah, featured extensively in magazines at the time. It's a very different world to the usual HubNut stuff. So there we go, that was the Jaguar. That's all done. We're now, oh, what's this bloody Range Rover doing? Forcing his way across because it can't plan. Ugh. An SVR, no doubt. Make your own minds up about what that stands for. But yeah, that's 3 cars we've done on this trip for feature magazines in retro Japanese and classic Jaguar. And now it's just a long drive home, which as usual reminds me just how far away I live from everywhere. But at least I've got a nice comfy Rover to waft around in, so it could be an awful lot worse. Currently driving up the M23 towards the M25. We'll see how hellish that is today, and then we should continue home. So yeah, if you're wondering why there have been no videos, this is why. I've been on the road. Oh, well, we've stopped at Membry services, so we're probably about halfway home, but feeling a bit tired, and the only sensible thing to do if you're feeling tired is stop. So because I drive a Rover, I've been to Waitrose. Does that count? Is a Rover good enough for Waitrose, or is cheap old Bangor, should I have gone somewhere else? Not with as much choice. I've got the most practical fruit going, grapes, so I'm just going to have a bit of a sit and a relax and not look at the road for a bit, which is nice.
Always be the simplest one.
And we're back in Wales. Look, greenness. Oh, I can feel my soul cleansing already. It is marvellous to be back. So far we've done 287 miles since filling up yesterday near Dartford, and the total trip mileage must be some way over 500 by now. Let's see what the other one says. 107,441, so she's done 441 miles since clocking in Birmingham, just a couple of miles from the factory in which she was built, in fact. So it's been rather a hectic trip again. I'm feeling rather tired, I must admit, but it is so nice to come back to Wales. There's some sheep over there. Less good is trying to eat. I've just had to have a Burger King because you're not spoiled for choice out in the sticks here, so yeah, it can get a little frustrating life on the road. Trying to eat healthily. Very grateful to my sister-in-law for a somewhat healthy meal last night with actual potato in it, not in chip form. But, I mean, I try and buy as much fruit as I can because, yeah, it's a nightmare. so often I end up eating in the car. It's disgusting in here. I must have a proper clear out. But yeah, the Rover continues to just do what I want it to do. It just eats up the miles effortlessly. The only mild complaint is the level of wind noise. I think I must get a better stereo, because this useless neck space unit is taken to, it just cuts out almost constantly. It's yeah, not a good DAB device, so I need a better solution, because I've been forced to listen to Steve Wright today, and frankly that's got to stop. Could bring some CDs, I suppose, might be a solution. But there you go, that's yet another road trip in the life of me. I've still got magazine deadlines, so this is the only video you'll be seeing anytime soon. I've tried to keep it simple, just so you've got something to look at and go, oh yeah, that's interesting, hopefully. It's hard to know when you put these things out whether they're interesting or not. But for now, I'm just going to carry on. I'm less than an hour to home, so I shall say thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and I shall see you in a future video. Farewell. And I get back home and find the bathroom is mostly missing, as is the toilet.